Pudge, what time is it?
It's time for the Chubby Guys podcast.
Woo!
Go over to Ripley, down 77 to Ripley, get off US 33, which runs from Pomeroy to Athens. It's the same US 33, runs out of Ripley to Spencer. Run it right into the old Spencer High School, the Yellow Jackets.
Okay.
And walk in. This lady was their special ed director. They needed a K through 12 special needs teacher. I had not completed my degree. I needed like one class. They're desperate. It's, this is July. We're picking tomatoes.
Yeah.
And I'd interviewed several times for business ed jobs. I'd interviewed at Trimble.
Hey, do you want to help develop your child's athletic ability? Or maybe you want to get off the couch and make yourself a little bit better? They earn the day at AP Prep. Look them up, apprep.info.
Hey guys, on behalf of the Chubbies, huge thanks to Geiger Brothers Construction. Give them a call at 740-286-0800. They've been great community supporters, and they are a friend of the Chubby program, so thank you, Geiger Brothers Construction.
Interviewed at Hillsborough. I'd interviewed multiple times, and each time I get bumped by a woman, which was okay. Whatever. A female was Philip Kuhn was a business ed teacher.
Oh, yeah.
So again, more guys did it, but at that time it was 90% young ladies, which,
that was back
sense.
in a different time.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, they interview me. She says, okay, can you start, August, whatever? Sure, I got a job. Mm-hmm. Well, then I went to the treasurer's office. We got paid once a month. And again on that Friday, if it was a holiday or something, you obviously got a day before. And I had enough money to make a payment on a brand new Mazda little pickup truck, B2600 4-wheel drive. And I went and did that, and I was living with my dad, and he was married to Dennis Reinhardt's mother, Marlene. Great lady.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. My dad was married to Marlene.
Well, now you got your mic back. All right. Yeah, all right. So you were saying you were Dennis Reinhardt's stepbrother for 10 years.
Yes, we very seldom at that time. I think we saw each other at Christmas, maybe holidays. He and my dad got to be really good buddies. Of course, we all knew Dennis loves the outdoors. Loves to fish. Dennis is just a good dude, man. His whole family, they were all great to me. But I was at that point in my life, I had moved on from the Roane County thing, and I was teaching up at Philo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you left Spencer. Where did you go?
Then I came back to Ohio, and that was another Peg Thomas deal. I ended up at Jewett-Scio High School in Harrison County. Now it's part of Harrison Central.
Where's that?
Harrison County is eastern part of state. Newcomerstown, take a left through Gnadenhutton, Urickville.
Way out of my...
Yep, right up the
St. Clairsville. It's west of St. Clairsville,
West Virginia, Pennsylvania line. Up
pretty
there.
close, yeah.
Chambray and Hills country. You got to talk country
even
music
further north than that.
Okay.
North and east.
You take what is that? Runs out of Cambridge into Caddis.
77.
Yeah. No, goes off to 77, goes north and south. The interstate. This is a state route. I can't remember what it is. Goes by Salt Fort Lake up in there. Anyway, I ended up there, and then again I was single, trying to move a little closer to home. My dad's still in Meigs County, and I took a job at Philo.
Okay,
I was an electric.
Yeah, and that's in Perry County, right?
Muskingum.
Right
on the Muskingum-Morgan County line.
Yeah, okay.
State Route 60 runs right along the Muskingum River.
Still there, isn't he?
Pete is still there, I believe.
Yep.
He's AD, isn't he?
I don't know if he is now. He was head football coach AD.
Yeah.
I met Pete, though, before he ever went to Philo, before he ever came to Jackson. He was assistant baseball coach, assistant football coach at Meigs.
Yeah.
My buddies, Chancey and Geen. Geen's superintendent. Mike's now the assistant principal. Mike
What
Chancey.
a bunch that was over there. My God, I love those guys.
He came my senior year.
Who? Pete? Pete's a good dude, man. He played at Marshall, was a center, walk-on.
He didn't play at Marshall, did he?
Oh, yeah, he did. He played.
He played at Marshall.
No, he played center.
Yeah, we all joke
He was
about
on the team with Bart and him at one.
He was
well, we always teased him because he'd always wear that ring around.
Yeah.
We called him the Green Lantern.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good name for Pete. I see he's big and grin. What a great guy. Yeah. But
Great guy.
Oh, he's one of the best.
His sons are old now, man. He had them whenever he was here.
Yeah.
They're in college now.
Yeah.
Every bit of it.
Best assistant basketball coach I ever saw.
Who?
Pete Woods.
Was he?
Ask Dustin Ford.
Really?
No, Pete,
He was Dustin's assistant.
Mike
first
Chancey.
year.
Mike Chancey was bummed because him and Pete got really tight. See, because that's right after Mike had graduated from OSU, was on the team at OSU. Then he was a GA or grad assistant, and then I think he became a paid assistant at OU for a year. Chancey did while he finished up his education degree. And then the Meg's job opened up. He goes home. Pete gets hired because Pete.
My God, as a parent of an 8-year-old with a family and moving through life, the best thing I ever did was download the McDonald's app. What a breeze. Order for your family. Pull up. They bring it to you. Easy. Download the app today from McDonald's.
Hey, are you a business owner looking for insurance coverage? Give this guy a call. You know him. You trust him. Jason Gillum, Gillum Insurance, 740-395-0190.
Pete is buddies with Bart, Mike Bartram, and Mike, of course, went on to the NFL.
Yeah.
Bart's father-in-law, Fenton Taylor, was a longtime Charlie Chancey assistant coach and became the principal at Meg's at that point.
Okay.
So Pete had just got hired as a social studies teacher. Mike comes back, ends up being head football coach. And
Mayor
I remember
or something too, wasn't he? Wasn't he the mayor or commissioner too?
No, that's Bartram.
Okay.
Bart was commissioner years later, after he retired and everything.
Yeah.
And then
But no, Pete was there for the Chancey years there early on.
Yeah.
And then he defected to Jackson, and it kind of created a relationship between Jackson and Meg's coaching staffs. I mean, if you've ever been a part of that world, it's a really cool deal.
It is.
I mean, when you get other coaching staffs together and you guys are like-minded, and it was just, I mean, what a great group of guys. So you were around that outfit then.
Well, the Chanceys, again, we're spinning yarns here. Is what that's what Coach Chancey would always call it, Charlie.
Yeah.
They lived in Syracuse, Ohio, where I grew up, and my house to Rick's house. Rick's the older brother.
Oh, yeah.
And Rick's less than a year younger than me. Okay. And I moved from State Route 143 out near Wolf Pen, Ohio, out back of Pomeroy. We sold the farm and we moved to Syracuse. That's where my dad was originally from when I was a kid. Yeah. So Pomeroy, K through 5, that's where I'd went to elementary school. So I was friends with some of the Meg's guys my age. Sure. Hadn't met the Chanceys, moved to Syracuse, and it was the spring because my mom kept driving us to Pomeroy to the elementary. We finished down there. Of course, Little League Baseball signups. I'd been a Pomeroy Red Leg. We'd won the championship the year before. So anyway, so now I'm going to become the Syracuse, end up being Syracuse Raiders. Raiders. Yeah. And so we moved to Syracuse, put the trailer in up there. Dad was in between jobs at that point. We'd bought a lot up there and in town, put the trailer in and stuff. And they took me to sign up for Little League. Well, Charlie Chancey, head football coach, Meg's Marauders.
Yeah.
Played at Marshall, was a GA at Marshall.
Yep.
So anyway, he is the coach. So, I don't know who the Chanceys are. And first night of Little League baseball practice, go to practice. And, of course, you want to fit in or whatever. So, he tells us to do whatever. So I go out in the outfield and stand. And my mom and dad were those people that they just dropped you off, and not that they didn't care. They come to the game and stuff, but I'm not hanging out at practice.
None of them.
One, and of course, my dad knew who Charlie Chancey was. I didn't know who this guy was, and I had been to Meg's football games because I had cousins, Rick and Mick Ash, Dr. Ash over here at Holzer, her older brothers. That's where they went to school.
Okay.
And Dad was a Pomeroy Panther, and I went with my dad, my grandfather, up till we moved to Syracuse. I went to Meg's games on Friday nights when they played at home.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know this guy. So about halfway through the practice, he says, I want you to come in here at shortstop. And so he hits me some ground balls and stuff, and he talked to me a little bit, Mr. Chancey did. And so I go to leave that night, and I remember him telling me, he said, hey, next time you come, when I say infielders, I want you in here. And I was like, okay. So I went home. I remember Mom asking me how was practice, making friends kind of deal, that conversation. I said, this is Mr. Chancey. I really like this guy. Lo and behold, to this day, if I can say this, if I needed a place to live, I can move in or out on Apple Road to this day. Yeah. This guy is like my dad.
Yeah.
And you talk about classy people. Mike is a microcosm of his dad. Yeah. And you know Mike very well. I know you guys do. Wolf does, Doug does. Like you said, when I come here, the relationship to what you guys, because you were scrimmaging then at that time.
Yeah.
And even Andy, when Andy, Andy, since Andy's come on board, it's still there's that camaraderie. And
sure.
It's neat. I had that relationship a little bit with Pete Holland and the boys at Paint Valley when I was at Vinton County. We scrimmaged and we had that. We could go back and forth. We shared film. We sat with each other, and it was really great. And the kids competed. But the Chanceys, and of course Charlie, who he was, I didn't grasp all that. Yeah. And so this guy's taking me to Meigs High School on Saturdays when nobody's around. He's doing AD's work in his office. Me and Rick and Mike
playing out on the field.
Well, we're when he's mowing the field, we're down there playing football. We're shooting baskets in Meigs High School. Nobody's around.
Which is a big deal for a kid.
Oh, that's
for me. Yeah, my parents weren't educated people.
Yeah.
Dad graduated. He's a carpenter, works in the plant. And Mom's a secretary. Down at what we called the welfare office down Middleport at that time. And that's what she did. So again, I'm like, these are the people that took me to Myrtle Beach for the first time in my life, the Chanceys, and it's like, wow. Yeah. So anyway, as it goes, then Rick and I become this incredible pair. Yeah. Okay. We become, inseparable. He's going, because we're still in grade school. And then when I go to Racine, I'm a year older, I go to 7th grade at Southern. He's still at 6th grade. And then he goes to Middleport or Meigs Junior High. But as soon as we'd get off practice, we didn't have a game. I was either there or he was at my house. I mean, it was constant. Meigs went on strike one year. This is a great story. Chance to appreciate this. Of course, Rick owns a lot of those cabins down in Gatlinburg, Pigeon Ford now. Right. Doing very well.
Anyway, how's little brother doing?
He's the assistant principal at Meigs. He has a beautiful young daughter, Annie, and a young son that's an infant named Will. He's got a nice wife.
Yeah.
He's my little brother.
Yeah, that's why he's everybody's. I don't even know his name.
Little brother.
It's just little brother.
It's Mike.
Yeah, Mike. Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So anyway, Rick, we become inseparable, and so Meigs goes on strike this one year, and my dad worked shift at that point at the plant. He was a maintenance man over at Vanadium Foot Mineral, and him and Mom, that's about the time they were getting separated. Well, Chance had come up to stay all night because Meigs didn't have school the next day, so he's staying all night. Me and I'm like sophomore in high school. Mom would let him come up because, again, Mary and Charlie.
You guys are family.
Yep.
Basically.
I mean, in and out of each other's houses. Yeah. So Chance would stay all night. Sometimes he would get to go coon hunting with my dad, and Dad would let me go because I had to go to school next day. Chance would be like, I'm going coon hunting. They call my dad the sheriff. He's never been a law enforcement, but they just call him sheriff. And so the sheriff, he'd say, me and sheriff's going coon hunting tonight. And it'd be like, what the hell, man? My buddy Chance.
Sucks.
And then him and Dad, because Dad would work that shift, and then they'd come in, and next morning Chance would be laying in my bed. It was like he's my brother, and that's one of those guys that we all got one in our life.
Yeah,
I know which way his gun's pointing the same way mine is. Kind of deal. Yeah. But anyway, so I was so blessed.
I know which way his gun's pointing.
That's right, man.
I like that.
I'm telling you, and then Mike was a tag along, and he was little brother. And Mike did whatever we told him to do. And people remember this, Jack Tatum and George Atkinson. If you're a football fan out of the late 70s, Tatum obviously played at Ohio State.
Oh, yeah.
One of the baddest
Complete
cats.
Savage. Yeah.
Right.
Raider, Oakland
and the
Raider,
other safety for the Raiders was this guy named Atkinson.
Yeah.
And Rick and I come up with this
thing.
They
played for who?
The Raiders.
But they're not from Meigs.
No, these guys are pro footballers. Yeah. Rick and I would do the George Atkinson and Jack Tatum thing on Mike. Now remember, you've seen Mike Chancey. Yeah. He can't get through that door.
It's enormous.
Yeah, he's just a big dude, man. Yeah. But he was okay. But he was that little that we got away with that deal. And then it's always become the joke that Mike will look at us and say, "I think I could whip your ass now."
Real softly.
Maybe.
Who was the? Didn't Meigs have a guy that went to the pros back in the '60s, late '60s? Athens did.
I thought Bartram was the only one for
Bart was it, and there's a great story. And see, here's the funny. My dad knew Weldon. Mike's dad just passed away recently. Weldon's a great dude. My dad knew Weldon and then Rory. See, the Bartrams are cousins to one of the guys I graduated with, a guy named Chapman from down Racine. CT and I were tight.
Now you graduated from Southern, correct?
Yes. Okay. I'm an 82 grad from Southern. Purple Tornadoes.
Mm-hmm. So where did you meet Little?
Lit was a senior when I was a freshman at Rio, but I can remember Steve being a senior in high school when I was a freshman at Racine. He went to North Gallia High School. Steve did.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a guy you ought to have on this show.
I'd like to get a little on the show.
We're working.
Hey, listen, he's got a great story, man.
He's got a hell of a story.
Yeah, he does. And again, Lit's worked for everything he's ever had.
Ever had.
Yeah, buddy.
Did he play baseball at Rio Grande?
Yeah, he did, and he was a good hitter. I remember.
Did you play any baseball?
I tried out down at Rio Grande and I made a decision that I regret to this day. I didn't go back after I had found out that I was on the roster for like what you did a tryout thing in the fall. I think they called it a swine series, and I made it. And then I was playing men's slow pitch softball,
and you wanted to do that.
Yeah, I made a real dumbass decision.
Well, we all do.
Yeah. And again, I regret
Crucial
it.
years.
Yeah, but again, back to that.
Well,
yeah,
I mean, you're sitting here with a guy just that absolutely gave up a full ride to Marshall on the third week.
Yeah, I don't know whether I ever got to play. Looking back at it, I'm an old man now, but it was like I had that opportunity. Larry Cook was the baseball coach, and everybody will rail on him. I don't know what kind of coach he was because I was only around him in the fall, and Lit and those guys seriously ran the fall ball. The seniors did, and of course, even then, Steve did a great job.
I know this is going to upset some people, but whatever. I know it's not named after him, but the field down there,
buddy,
that's Steve Little. Now I will say McGraw does a hell of a job.
Yeah. Well, I
McGraw's
just like if
started.
you would have seen that field
Before
prior to Steve.
Yep.
And then what he built, and the reason I know about it is I was playing in the program at that time, and my ass put so many hours in on that damn
Picking
field.
up rocks. I've heard that story.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, I got invited to an Expos tryout camp there.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know where I was at on the Richter scale of playing baseball, but I got invited to this camp, So a guy, Jeff Wayland, who's a teacher at Meigs Middle School. Jeff was just the baseball coach at Meigs last year. It's Colin and those boys' uncle.
Yeah.
Ace
is my
buddy.
Yeah.
Okay. Ace and I played American Legion baseball together. And Jeff had an August birthday.
Okay.
And so you got to play that extra year like you did in Little League,
Yep.
And so Jeff and a guy named Jerry Fields. Jerry, another great athlete, went to Meigs, played linebacker for the Marauders, started as a freshman. In the SEO back in.
Yeah, bud.
Dude, okay, you had to be a stud to play.
It's a good league.
Okay, I mean.
I miss that league.
Yeah, I mean, you had to be a stud to play.
I missed that when that was our league.
Yeah, man. Like when I grew up as a young kid, my first exposure to football, I was on the sidelines in the early '80s when my father was coaching. I was like the manager, ran the kicking tee out, water, and I mean, you're talking about SEOL teams like Meigs, Waverly. I mean, there were a lot. The SEOL,
Gallipolis, Ironton, Logan, Wellston. I mean, come on.
Wellston was in it. I mean, man, it was. I wish it'd go back. I love that. I mean,
it was a different.
It's sacrilegious that Athens is in the TVC, and Gallia is in the SOC.
Yeah.
Come on, guys, let's get it back together.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think that was one
enough of this crazy league we're playing.
It's not going to happen.
No, I know it isn't. I know it isn't.
When we did,
let us dream.
You got to be in a league for your kids to get recognized for those district awards and all Ohio awards.
Yeah.
And Bob Kite and I were the last two. SEOEL president and vice president or whatever we were. Jackson was in charge of the league for league expansion.
Okay.
Trivia question.
Okay.
You know what we expanded in? Tennis and soccer. Oh. we got Athens and Alexander in the SEOL and soccer the last year. And we expanded, I think, Athens in tennis. And
did Phil tell you what I'm trying to expand? Why I took him to Great Seal?
I know he told me you mentioned that guy's name in the promo there thing earlier, man. Jubal, and he told me about that bicycle. He said it was effortless.
Yeah,
he really enjoyed that. He really did.
I told Phil that I went over there to Great Seal a couple weeks ago, and I mean, you couldn't get a parking spot, and I mean, there was people. I mean, there was probably 500 people there, and I said, "What in the world's going on?" And they said, "Oh, this is a mountain biking team, high school mountain biking team meet."
Well, Ross County has our bus inspector, Rodney Parker, works for State Highway Patrol. He has he's in charge of the trap shooting team at Huntington High School, and I think I want to say Paint Valley or Adena has one too.
I love this expansion, like
I do too.
archery, bowling.
Fishing.
We've done bowling. fishing,
Oh,
biking.
Killboys went to state last
Yeah.
year in fishing.
Let's do it.
Is Randy the coach?
Randy probably is. Heck, he should
Him
be.
and Scott Lewis.
is.
Him and Scott
Lewis is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, Scott and Randy went to Southwestern High School. Randy's a year younger than me.
Okay.
And then Gene Allen, Elvis.
Yep.
Yeah. There's a great family. The Carters.
Hey, happy birthday, Coach Lake.
Yeah, happy
Is it his
birthday, Coach.
Happy birthday, Big Daddy. Happy birthday, buddy.
I'm gonna guess his age.
I have a great story about
Let's
Randy
see.
that I'm not going to tell you guys on the air. And he knows if he ever sees this clip, he'll say, "I know what he's going to tell."
Is he 55?
56.
56.
56 or
My guess,
57.
yeah.
I'll be 58 in July.
How old am I? I'm going to say he's 56.
I thought he was born 66.
I was born in 64. I thought it was 65. I thought he's a year behind me. So he'd be my age, 57. I'll be 58
I
in
thought
July.
he's about 8 years older than me.
Hey, you're
He
probably
could-
right.
he could
You're
be
right.
9.
I had
I
on a
don't-
shirt one day.
Yeah.
Green Bay Packers. I walked into weightlifting my freshman year, and
Yeah.
that's why I always know. I always remember that. And it was a 1966. It might have been a 65. Is it 65 or 66? And he said that's the year I was born, Pudge. And because I've always kind of figured that.
Yeah.
But happy birthday, Coach.
He's a good
Yeah,
dude. That
yeah.
guy right there.
Yeah,
is,
him
man.
and Gene.
One of the best.
Oh, Gene Allen and Larry Carter and I played softball. And back to
Larry's
that, was
another
talking about
one,
the
dude.
baseball
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
at
yeah,
Rio,
yeah.
and I got invited to play men's slow pitch softball. Now remember, I'm 18 years old.
Yeah.
My dad drank some beer at the house, and I'd see Dad maybe take a 6-pack. We coon hunted, and he may drink one or something afterwards. But
Yeah.
I never saw my dad drunk.
Yeah.
He was a member of the Racing Gun Club. Got to promote the boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never saw him drunk up there at gun shoots or nothing, but I knew he
Pop
drank beer.
machines with beer in it.
That's exactly right. That's right. And so anyway, I get invited, and the very first tournament I played these guys, I got to go to Cleveland, Ohio. Now, I'd never been to Cleveland even as a kid. Columbus.
I still haven't been to Cleveland.
You
In
ain't
40
really
years,
miss-
I've never been to Cleveland.
I've been up there to watch the Browns. They always let me down. But anyway, so I go to Cleveland. I'm staying in a hotel room, and my roommate, there's just me and him in a bed. When we went on a family vacation, the once or twice we did, all four of us were piled into a room, me and my sister and the other double bed. I'm in a room by myself. Barons of Athens.
Yeah.
Okay, up on
Barron's
that.
Men's Shop.
Yeah.
Barron's Men's Shop. That was
Pugh.
the sponsor team. Dwight Pugh.
I worked for Dwight in college.
Oh, did you? Okay, Dwight was a good dude, and I'm telling you, he took
passed
care
away
of.
about
Yeah.
5 years ago. Right?
And I had never met Dwight. A guy named Gene Wise ran this team. So Gene had seen me play American Legion baseball, and they had a couple of softball tournaments after Legion season was over at Syracuse ball field where I grew up. It's like, it's got 310-foot fence, 380 center field. It's a baseball field, but they were playing men's slow pitch on it, and he was up there one day, and he come to me and said, "Would you like to play?" I'm a young kid. I got lots of energy, if you will. So, sure. So he takes me to Cleveland and sticks me in right center field. And lo and behold, the dude beside me that plays left center is a guy named Greg Moeller. Greg's a Fairfield Union graduate, and Greg played 4 years at OSU center field. Okay. So, it's pretty neat. The output is like, I just get it and say, "Here, Greg, throw it in."
Throw it to home, Greg.
Frozen hose.
Yes, he did. And then one year we picked up who would have been the MAC player of the year, a guy named Wes Harrington that led the MAC in home runs. I'm name dropping, but Wes played right field beside me. So at that point, I'm 18 and I'm playing with guys who I felt like could play. Well, they're also feeding me free beer, taking me places I probably shouldn't have been in.
Church.
Yep. You know what I mean? And so then
Libraries.
Yes.
Libraries.
Thank you.
Yes.
Churches, confessions. So then when it got back to going back to Rye Grandin playing, it was like, wait a minute, where's the fun at in this?
Yeah, because Raya wasn't real fun back then. I mean, not
Well,
that it is now,
any
but
college program, you're not going to be doing that kind of shit.
Right.
Like, yeah. I mean,
So, and I got spoiled, and it was like, okay, so then I just didn't want to do it.
fun, yeah.
Well, yeah, and it was. And again, but you said formative years of going back to my dad. Dad's line was this: if you go in the Army, it'll make you grow up. Because that's what he did. And that's what my Uncle Raleigh did. His brother and my mom's brother Bill and her brother Mike, and that's what they
so
did.
you had a family where everybody had gone and served.
Yeah, because you didn't. We weren't well to do.
Sure.
So everybody had something. You went into that, which led into construction jobs or.
It's a good start. Right. I mean,
And a lot of my family was Masons. Nothing wrong with the Masons. A lot of them were Masons. And again, there was always that brotherhood, if you will.
Sure.
So again, it was like I was the first guy to say I was going to college. And then, of course, when I went down there and I almost struggled and failed, done me a lot of good. I mean, I didn't ask there wasn't no help to get. I mean, there wasn't anything that they could have gave to give me.
Yeah.
And Peg Thomas.
Yeah.
Peg Thomas, Paul
She
Shoemaker.
dialed in. Yeah.
Oh, reeled me in hard. And then,
Yeah,
like I said, then I end up in Roane County, and they give me my teaching assignment. I go to Left Hand, West Virginia, and I'm living out at Shade, Ohio. That's out 33 past where the 4-lane ends even now. And Dad and Marlene Reinhardt, back to that, are married. And they were good enough to let me live there because I didn't have any money. I was picking tomatoes, and $100 check a week was big money.
Well, and you didn't get paid.
I don't mean to laugh. I'm just.
And you didn't
you're
get
saying
paid.
I was picking tomatoes.
I was, man.
Well, and you didn't get paid for a month.
Yeah.
Right, and you only got paid once a month.
Yeah. So, like, what? I mean, hell, you can't go over and get an apartment.
And again, this lady's again, her and her husband are good friends of mine. Tammy Cundiff ran the Vista for Jim Diddle in Racine. That's the first gas station when you go into Racine. That was Diddle's gas station. Jim's a gas and oil guy, and of course, Jim's a great guy too. I mean, these are like you guys. These are my people, you know.
Yeah.
And I remember going in there. One of the things that I had to do, did it with no pride in it. I went in and I looked at Tammy. Tammy Cundiff ran the station at that time for Jim, and I said, Tammy, I need gas to go to work. And she said, here's what you do. I'll start you a tab. You pay me every month. And I said, yes, ma'am. And so Tammy knew what I was doing because I told her I had a job because I had shirt and tie on and stuff.
Yeah.
And I had a Toyota Tercel car.
Yeah.
Little 4-speed, little 4-door. Yeah. It was red. My buddies called it the Zesta. It looked like a Zesta cracker box. That's what they called it. And that's what I drove. And I drove it from Shade, Ohio, down the 4-lane to Pomeroy. And then see that you didn't have the bypass in. You had to go up through Syracuse Racine, got gas, up, across the Ravenswood Bridge to Ripley. 33 Ripley to Spencer's, 30 miles roughly.
How long of a drive was that for you?
About an hour and 40 minutes one way, and I ended up in left hand because when you went into Spencer, you took a right.
Hour and 40 minutes.
It's a true story. And I went to left hand West Virginia.
What time in the morning would you have to leave to be there to be at school?
5:30.
I was every morning. It was 6 o'clock when I was leaving because I knew I had to stop at the Vista most days because even that little car, every other day I had to get gas.
Hell, you're probably spending half your paycheck on gas.
I did. Well, I'll get to my paycheck in a bit. I mean, this is all true. So when I see what we have here or what our coaches have, I don't want to hear it. So I'm a little sensitive about it because you guys are almost like you're going like he's making this shit up. And I'm like, no, I'm not. So I get there and I had to go to Left Hand, West Virginia. And you can Google that. There's a Left Hand Elementary School, and I got there at morning and I had to be there by 8, and by 8:45 I was done. And then I had to go to Walton High School, Walton Tigers, where I was JV boys basketball coach and was like an assistant football coach. And then I had special needs, but I didn't have to be there till like noon. So I'll get to that. There's funny.
Hey, there's
in
a
this.
gap in time there.
There's funny. There's funny in this. This will be hilarious. I think people will like this.
Yeah.
So anyway, when I get to left hand, this is where I told you guys earlier, get your tee shoes out. I had 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl. One boy's name is Todd Goodwin. I'll get to Todd. Start my first job. I'm teaching reading to 7th grade special needs students. We're making friends. It's Labor Day. You start late August. It's Labor Day. We come back after Labor Day. Hey, Pudge, what did you do over Labor Day weekend? First little boy. We had Biddy League football practice. And that was the first time I'd ever really heard of that.
Yeah.
Because in Southeastern Ohio, other than you guys in Jackson, we didn't have nothing like that in Meigs or any place like that.
You didn't have it here then.
Okay, so I'm like, okay, I didn't know. I was like, oh, really? Yeah, I got Biddy League football. I asked a little girl, and she says this, and this is dating myself. We went to the Charleston Town Center.
Yeah.
Dude, it's ready to close now. That's when it was brand new. So it was a big thing to go there.
Deal.
Oh, yeah.
Big deal.
I look at Todd Goodwin, and I say, little dark-haired boy, I said, what'd you do, Todd? He said, we cut firewood. I said, oh, yeah, man. Squirrels gathering nuts, that kind of thing, And I said, what kind of chainsaw you use? Yeah, try to make conversation. This kid's very backward. We use no salt. We didn't use salt. So we didn't use salt. I said, how you get him down? I said, Dad cuts him down with an axe. I said, how do you get him out? He said, we got a mule. Okay, and this is 1987. And I said, I'm calling BS. So I listened to this kid.
Thinking,
So they go on down the hallway at the end of the period that I'm there for my travel. And lady down the hallway was actually born and raised in Meigs County. We'd made friends, acquaintances. She hadn't lived in Meigs County for years, but that's where she's originally from. So I started asking questions about Todd. She said, it's supposed to rain like Thursday. She said, he won't be here. What do you mean he won't be here? She said, well, where he lives up the holler, well, if it rains, he helps his mom catch water for bathing. And I was like, no way. And she said, yeah. And I tell her the story. She said, they ain't got no saw. Said his dad rides a bicycle from left hand, and if somebody's Googling this or watching this, to Spencer every day to work in a factory as a custodian. And this kid had nothing. I don't know what happened to Todd Goodwin, but I hope to the good Lord in heaven above that he looks at me someday and said I was good to that little boy. Because I'm telling you, this kid had nothing. So now the funny part of my story is, of course, I was a young man, and me and I got a good buddy down home. And, of course, when I got home, it was always 4:30, 5 o'clock. Well, you always felt like you had all kinds of energy. All of a sudden, that turns into midnight, and then that turns into 5 in the morning getting up. Days of it. So I would go over toward Clendenin. That's where the flood hit. There was a township road that let me take out a left hand, and I went under, and I went right underneath I-79.
Okay.
Going to Morgantown. Into Clendenin. And there was a parking ride there.
Exactly where
and I had this Mazda 4-wheel drive pickup truck. And my mom, years ago, had bought me one of them. People have seen them. It was a fold up. You could fold it up, but you could open it up, and there's an alarm. You said, get up, you know. And there was one time in particular, 3 or 4 days in a row, when I got that parking ride, I'd go to Stop and Go and get a Mountain Dew. I was like, I drink Mountain Dew like water. Mountain Dew and a candy bar, and I throwed that in me. And I went in that parking ride for about 3 days in a row and opened them truck doors. It was warm enough. I'd lay on that truck seat and go to sleep. Catching up.
Catching up.
This guy, these tree tempering companies in there for about a week. And I'd see him in there. And finally, one time, I just, you know how you are. You've all been there. I'm out like a light, laying there in that truck seat, and that guy wakes me up. I jump up out of there, and he says, buddy, he says, are you all right? And I was like, yeah. He says, I've watched you for a week. He said, like clockwork, you pull in here at 9 o'clock. He said, and you wake up at 11 o'clock, and he said, your ass is up and going. He said, are you okay? And it was like, yeah, man, because I had to be at Walton.
Hey, man. Hey, man, I'm a teacher.
I mean, looking back, I was like, okay. But I was, that's what I was doing. Right. And then I went to Walton, and my classroom at Walton High School was on the second floor. It was an old boy's bathroom. Oh, my. And on the door, it had, if people remember, sometimes they had these metal tags, BOYS. You could see where that had been on the door. They'd taken them off. And you went in, you pushed the door open, and you had to walk around the wing, so like people couldn't see you.
Oh,
and my back of my chair set up against that
wing.
And down the wall, this room is bigger. This room you guys have here is bigger. And I had pipe fixtures that come out of the wall that were capped off. And you could see the Johnny rings under the carpet. In the back right corner, I had a Warm Morning. That was the name of the stove. A Warm Morning gas stove. I couldn't see out my window because they had to build a fire escape on the building off the second floor to make it legal. And the fire escape roof blocked my window at Walton High School. And they played at a 4-H camps where they played football. And I don't remember a score clock, guys, and they dressed in a cabin. And the visiting team, they played we played Man, West Virginia, small schools.
Oh, man, yeah.
And Walton had maybe 15, 16 kids. And they practiced at Walton High School, and this camp was down the road. And if it rained really, really hard, because you're so close where you're at in the mountains, they'd let you out early because they couldn't get kids home. And I had a kid that started, he was an 8th grader. I had 7th and 8th grade. And I had a kid start the first couple of weeks of school at Walton High School. I taught math and language arts is what I did, obviously special needs. And he quit showing up. So I go to the office. A guy named Steve Simonton's the principal, dressed to the nines. I mean, Mr. Howard's dressed this guy was the same way. I mean, this guy was dressed professionally every day.
Yep.
And I go down and I say, hey, so-and-so ain't here. Yeah. At that point, the law was, and again, something looked... If you were a certain age and you lived a certain distance off a main bus route and your parents couldn't bring you from point A to point B, you could quit school in the 8th grade. Legally. Mm-hmm. And that's what happened.
And he thought, hey, I'm done.
He's done. No. And then, and I had maybe 15, 16 kids there that afternoon, but a lot of them were the same kids.
Yeah.
It was pretty neat. Went to an IEP signing. That's something that was started, and I had to go to this kid's house because the parents wouldn't come in. And I pull in this house. It was on a state route that took me back to Spencer. And I got the address in the office, and he couldn't get a response. And I go to this house. And as I pull in, it's like a gravel right up against this ranch-style home. And there's cars there's 5, 6 cars there. So I could hear people. This dude opens the door, and he comes out. He says, well, come on in. All right, okay. As I go step in, the front room, like your living room, is a full working bar.
Really?
Oh my!
The family was living in the
A little
home.
bit of a speakeasy. Huh?
And
Yeah.
it didn't. I mean, seriously, there wasn't like a real sign outside or nothing.
Yeah.
And I had the parents sign this child's IEP there.
Yeah. Right there at the bar.
Yeah, I did.
In their bar.
It's God's honest truth.
Yeah.
There were people coming in there, bar stools and stuff set up. I mean, it was like a full blown. I mean, it was a and
Neighborhood deal.
I'm from Meigs County.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and this
You're
is
not an easy man to shock.
not at that point. No, I mean, I knew some varmints.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know some varmints.
You've been around a little bit.
Right, and I know some guys, and my people, my family, God love them, they worked hard, but I mean, none of them had lived in the mansion on the hill kind of deal. So there were some things that you'd seen. I mean, my grandma had an outhouse when I was a kid. You went to Grandma Clark's, dude, she'd tell you before it got dark, you better go.
Yeah.
'Cause it's getting cold. An old Yeller, Dad or Uncle Raleigh once held an old Yeller poster and stuck up on the inside the door. I remember that.
Yeah.
They'd stole it from the marquee when I was in high school or something.
God.
My
down
dad didn't
Pumber.
have running water till he was 24.
Yeah, yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
that would have been in 1972.
Yeah, that wasn't that uncommon though, around here. Really.
Yeah,
I don't think.
10 years before I was born. You were born in
1973.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember Mom and Pop when I was in kindergarten, first grade, actually building the bathroom on the house that they lived in Minersville High. I remember my dad and them because when somebody did something back in, like family-wise,
Everybody
did it.
yeah, I remember on Saturday mornings I hated it because if Dad would say Friday night, well, tomorrow we're going to go help your Uncle Raleigh lay block, it was like, what?
Yeah. And that's what you were doing Saturday.
Saturday morning, me and Cousin Jay were like mixing mud, and they were screaming at us the entire time because it wasn't right. It was like, well, do it yourself in, but you didn't say that.
Yeah, you didn't say that. Yeah, you didn't
Oh,
say
that kid now would.
I'd have had false teeth at 10. But so growing up, that was my first job at Walton High School, and it was like coaching JV basketball in the state of West Virginia. You couldn't get off the bench. Well, I had played for Carl Wolf and Howie Caldwell at Racine. Howie was JV coach.
Yeah.
These guys are animated, and they're damn good at what they do.
Oh yeah.
Check it out. You go check them out, see what they do. They're good at what they do.
Yeah.
So that's what you're mimicking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're coaching.
Well, you can't sit if you're mimicking them.
No. So I remember our first game was at Williamstown, West Virginia, Parkersburg.
Oh yeah. That's where my grandpa was born.
Which they were playing.
Yeah.
And of course, they're a lot bigger in Walton. It was a non-league game. And they tipped the ball off, and I'm sitting on the bench, and they tipped the ball off, and we make about 2 trips, and I don't know, somebody throws it in the 5th row or something, and I stand up, and the guy, boom.
Oh, immediate tee.
Gives me an immediate tee. But it's like, it says my first, at this point, I'm like,
You're 6 minutes in.
yeah, I'm not even talking to this guy. I'm like, what? And he says, Coach, you can't get off the bench. And the head coach goes, yeah, I forgot to tell you. And I'm thinking, it's going to be a long year.
Big
You
should have told me that.
Yeah,
You
it's
should have
going to
told
be
me
a
that
long
earlier.
year. But then, like I said, that was so. When I look at people and I say, okay, I mean, I want this and I want that and I want, and there's other places. When I was at Philo, they had a lot of things compared to what I had at Walton. But we was joking earlier. Yeah, reflection. Yeah, this is good for me because Todd Goodwin. I had a little girl named Minnie. I can't remember her last name. And I come in one day at my desk there at Walton High School. Come in, around the wing. I sat down and she's standing in front of me. She's on crutches, little tiny thing. And I knew she had cancer because her hair and stuff. But I don't know these kids. I'm just learning them. And she's on crutches. And I say, Minnie, you know what? I can see her saying there, Minnie, what did you do over the weekend? What happened to you? And she looks at me and she says, Mr. Hemsley, I don't have a leg. for 3 weeks, 4 weeks of school, this kid's coming in with a prosthetic leg,
and you didn't even realize it.
I didn't realize it, but again, because I'm learning them, I'm new. It's all brand new to me, and I look, and again, just like you guys, you didn't say anything. I mean,
I don't know whether or not I'm allowed.
I don't know. What do you say?
I mean, what do you say?
Yeah.
I mean, she's looking at me, and she's whatever she is, a 7th grader in high school now. Minnie is deceased. She's passed now. The cancer, unfortunately, that dirty stinking disease got somebody. But at the same time, it was like I remember that feeling. I still have it now. I was like, open foot, insert size 10.
Yeah.
Well, but see, and there are, there are tough stories here too. I mean, all the time. However, you turn and look at like that, like to your point, like if people start bitching or wondering where they are.
I think about Minnie.
I mean, well, and look at that stadium up there on the hill. Look at that gymnasium. Look at our choir room. Look at our band room.
Everybody that I ever talk to that comes in here
is in awe.
It is in awe. Yeah. Unless they come from bigger. But I mean, if you
but even if they do, they're like, geez, man, like you talk about Jackson, I didn't realize I always, the thing I always think is cool, and this is, shout out Scott Massey, Alumni Stadium, whatever. Yeah. I mean, I just wonder what was on the mind of those Columbus South gentlemen last week. What's going to be on the mind of Columbus Eastmore? They're coming down here to probably what they think is playing a bunch of hillbillies, right?
Well,
they're going to
rude awakening.
Well, they're going to crest that hill. Okay.
Yeah.
And look over and see the lights on that stadium and be like, whoa.
Yeah.
Now, just where in the hell are we? I mean, what is this?
Well, again, it's like you said. It's like we are so. I don't want to use the word spoiled.
We are.
But
I just hope we don't take it for granted, Joe.
And again, things have changed. You're talking 1987 to 2021, 2022. I get it. Times have changed. There's more money in education and all that. Yeah. But it was just like, for me, it was a good start. And then just like as an administrator, I started at Gloucester Trimble. Cindy Johnson, superintendent, gives me a chance. And it was like, thank you. I'd had my certificate and stuff for years working at Vinton County, was coaching girls softball, had a great schedule, good people to work with, great people there. John Simmons.
Very successful softball teams, but you're being
we had a couple good years.
Being very modest.
I got an email a while ago from Jeremy Ward while we sat down here, and I got 2 girls going in December 10th for Hall of Fame induction.
That's awesome.
December 10th. One of them he was going to do it the night that we played Jackson. The second one, she was a young lady that got killed in a motorcycle wreck here, and we had the funeral and stuff back about August. Susan Eberts from Hamden, the ultimate teammate. Great kid, great young lady, and she got killed in a motorcycle accident up near Cleveland where she lived, and so she got in. And the other young lady going in is Kristen Collins, and it was her maiden name, but she caught for me for 4 years, and she was a really good one. They were two cool, pretty cool for me, kind of. Caught Hall of Famers.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen a wide range of school systems as you come.
You're almost like the Appalachia man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Kind of like Turtle Man.
Yeah. Well, you've been at every rural school.
You've seen like what the variety.
Yeah.
Of educational situations are around Appalachia. I mean, you've had a pretty good sampling.
So what better guy for the movie Holler, really?
Yeah,
I mean, there's no question.
Because you went to Spencer, you went to Hayden,
Walden
High School. That was in the same. And then I was in Jewett-Scio, which is Harrison County. It was it's
West
very
Virginia is just like us. I mean, they got steeper hills, but I mean, they're poorer than us.
Yeah.
As far as that area, but I mean, you've really done the Appalachian tour.
Yeah, it was again. I've been so blessed.
They were.
I know.
By the way, I did.
Hit us with it.
I did.
Yeah. Now. Yeah. Let's do this. I mean, before we finish, we've got to. Speaking of the tour of Appalachia,
Tyler.
Come on, Tyler.
You don't be scared.
Yeah,
get in here.
I'm a little bit scared.
I tell you what I would do if I were you, and I'm not. If I were you, I would let me pour this other little bit,
okay,
and then finish it with the apple because you ain't got nothing lit.
Yeah.
Okay. No.
Ain't no cigarettes.
We got
ain't
no cigars.
Nothing,
Yeah.
no
There's
open
no
flame.
fire. No fire.
No candles.
Yeah.
Now again, this is be gentle.
Hey, now you just understand.
What are
here
we dealing
something,
with here?
Marauder. We ain't a bunch of rookies either.
Yeah,
now.
is this
No,
white
you're
lightning?
not. I know
Is
you're
it? Is this white lightning?
Yes, it is.
Oh my goodness!
Could you run your car off this?
Probably.
Oh my God! This is.
Oh
gonna
Lord,
be
why'd you
bad.
pour so
Well,
much?
I'm sorry.
It's going to be bad. It's just
Here,
a
put it back
shot.
in here. Don't
Just a
wait.
shot.
This is
Just
all
a
done.
shot.
Here, put it back in there.
Oh, now
Don't
come
be
on,
such a
Patch.
sissy now.
Yeah.
That stuff will give me so much heartburn.
Mindy will be proud of you.
Just
She-
get
she
you
was
at
a time
times.
to be on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
stage.
Just get you at
Go ahead.
times. All right,
Oh,
here
you
we
want
go.
that? Do that, and then this other will be easy.
You ain't gonna get one?
Oh, do you want me to?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I want everybody to share in this mess.
Yeah. I'm waiting.
Yeah,
on
I
you.
bet this. I bet this shit is hot.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it
Oh, yeah, it's
is.
hot. I
Yeah,
smell it.
you'll
It smells hot.
tomorrow you won't be able to trust the fart.
It's just water.
Yeah. Here we
Yeah.
go.
All right,
trust
gentlemen. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thanks for
hey,
coming
hell
on.
yeah! Cheers.
Yeah, boy. That'll make hair grow on your head.
Son.
That's smooth.
I got here with an afro in a little bit.
Now I can't
coming out through
imagine.
the nose.
I
Now it's
bet.
hitting me
I
about
bet
right here.
that would last. I bet a bottle that size would last you a long time.
How long you think? How long you think I've had that? Hey, this is
Don't say since yesterday.
No, this is a funny story. One night, Heath McInnes and his wife were taking ticket money on 139,
Yeah.
and I was going off the hill, and it was really cold that night. And Heath remembered this, and I said, "You gonna be here?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "I'll be back."
You look cold. Yeah, you look
And
cold.
I went home and got a water bottle, a clean one.
Yeah.
And I poured him a little bit in there, and I said, "Here." I said,
Have a drink of this water.
"Here." I said, "Well, I told him, I said, wait till you get home."
Oh yeah.
I said, "Don't." Now this gentleman is a little bit better.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. Whew. Now what we got here? A little apple pie.
That's good.
Okay. Boy, I'm gonna tell you what. Now that was hot, but no, I will say this. I mean, I've tasted it before, right? And that it was hot, but I'll have to say that was pretty damn smooth
Yeah.
for white
Yeah.
lightning. So I mean, I don't know who
I coughed once. That's it.
I didn't at all. As a matter of fact, I think I had some infection in my mouth that is now gone.
Gone.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
may be the cure for COVID.
Oh shit! That would cure a lot of stuff.
So
All right, man.
This is just that.
Cheers.
Yep.
Cheers.
Gentlemen, thanks again.
And thank you.
See, that's his lightweight stuff.
oh yeah, it's easy.
See, I'd rather have the other than that. That's the if I had about 5
If
drinks
I
of
gave you
that-
the rest of that other bottle, they'd have
I
law.
couldn't
They'd have
do it.
law up here a little bit.
Oh yeah, I couldn't do it. I'll tell you what, that stuff right there is dangerous. That apple pie. Like you drink 4 or 5 of those, that's dangerous.
It's kind of like wine, you know. Wine kind of sneak up on you.
and I
drink.
bet it
I
makes
got
you
into
feel
making
bad.
the Everclear version of it. You know, I
Oh,
did
you
that.
making it with Everclear? Yeah.
I used to. I don't do it anymore.
I know several guys that have stills, and it's a fun process. Like if you're out smoking meat during the day, also maybe
I don't have the 12. Can you right now and with your schedule? Can you make 12 hours to go smoke beef on Saturday?
no, bud. And I'll tell you, it's one of the things that I've
Should be fun.
I'm really missing doing that.
Yeah.
And now the problem is I'm going to have a little bit of time off.
So you decide to play basketball?
Well, yeah, but it's rec league. I mean, that's Saturday
Yeah.
morning. That's
Yeah.
that's I can do that backward. But it's the thing is, it's too damn cold to sit outside and smoke a brisket.
Yeah, if you put on a coat and build your fire.
That is
All right, what day we going to do it?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
that kind of brings me in, not to wrap it. We're not wrapping much up, but okay. So here you are. You are where Chad and I are hopefully headed within the next. Chad's probably got another 15. I got another 20.
Yeah.
retirement.
Yes. Yeah.
So you're talking about time. I can't wait.
So what are you going to do? What are you?
Yeah.
What's your goals?
Okay, I'm going to give you two answers. One is the correct answer, and you can decide which one. Okay. Whatever I want to do,
Yeah.
or whatever Christy tells me to do.
Yeah.
Number two.
Yes,
is
thank
the
you. Good
correct-
choice. Ding, ding, ding. You're a winner.
No, but are you excited? I mean, you've been answering a school bell, bud, for what, 35 years?
35 total.
Yeah.
Again, just like Phil.
Yeah.
A lot of guys. We mentioned Bob. Bob was the guy that did it for a long time as well.
Yeah.
I want to go while I got good health and enjoy myself. Like I said, I have nothing negative. There's been negative moments, I guess, throughout my career, and I'll shoulder those. Those are my fault.
Yeah. Now, do you think you're a guy that has like a hobby that you're going to die?
Yeah,
on?
like that's what I'm talking about.
Or do you think that you'll be like
absolutely no.
Or are you going to be a guy that'll be like, maybe I'll go back and help him?
I mean,
like,
okay,
you know.
so you're 57,
57, 58
okay,
July.
so
You're retiring a young man.
You're retired, a young man.
I love to hunt, love to fish. Going bow hunting probably Saturday morning. Again,
You'll not be a guy that has trouble occupying your time.
No, I'm easily amused, dude.
Okay.
I mean, I'm telling you, man, I have a good time by
you
myself.
Don't think that there won't be a draw for you to be like, man, maybe I'll go back and help or consult or.
I'll sub a little bit. Maybe I've talked to another buddy that's maybe got something for me. I guess you would call it part time. I can make my own schedule because I was real upfront with him, and he's a great dude.
Yeah.
That says, look, man, I want some time for me. Our jobs are 24/7, 365.
Yeah.
If you're an administrator.
And that's what I'm saying, Joe. That's an adjustment, dude. Like if you go from that to nothing, like I watched my father kind of try to do that, and he's like, geez, I don't
But he
really
didn't
have any
a whole
hobbies.
lot of hobbies, though.
None.
Yeah, he didn't have
No,
None.
okay. Again, that's the thing. It's something to do. I mean, I like to golf. I'm terrible at it. I like it. I don't want to spend that money on it. But hunting and fishing, I got one beagle dog right now. For years, I had beagles until I got into administration. And when I was coaching, you could still have beagles.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But once you get into administration, that stuff's gone.
My dad and Little still rabbit hunt every Saturday.
That's awesome, man.
Every
You know,
Saturday.
something that we don't do, but that's something my dad and my grandpa, my I guess my step grandfather, Pop, that I did. And right there where I grew up in Syracuse, I could walk to the Lovett property in Minersville.
And rabbit hunt.
Well, rabbit hunt, squirrel hunt, deer hunt,
whatever.
Grouse hunt. Love to grouse hunt. Of course,
grouse
there's no
has left
grouse
the area.
anymore, right? Yeah, they're going. But yeah, I like that stuff.
Any goals like, okay, so you statistically, now you're talking to a life insurance guy,
Sure.
but statistically, you know,
Thank you very much.
yeah, statistically, you've got till 83 or 81 actually.
That's the average.
That's the life expectancy on a male right now is 81.
Buddy, I'm just halfway home.
Yeah, but I
you
mean,
got some-
is there anything you're wanting to do? Like, is there any goals? Like,
You want travel?
You want to go anywhere?
Well, I'm going to say this while I'm on here. My daughter Katie's getting married to Kendall Neal. Great young man.
Oh, good.
They're
Yeah,
getting married
boy,
in June.
I'll tell you, that's a good.
You mentioned Denver. I'd been there before. That's where she's. It's not going to be a big fancy destination wedding. That ain't my kid.
Yeah.
But she's picked to get married there. I got a son in the U.S. Air Force, Wyatt, who's home on leave right now, trying to kill a deer. He's going to go into education. He's med tech in the Air Force, and I'm like, Christy and I are like, stay in medicine, male nurse. They'll help you take your LPN. The Air Force in this state will
they'll
help
pay
you.
for it. Yeah.
He's like, nope. And here's the deal: Missy Rowland, and again Kelly Wilson. Those are two people he mentions that he fell in love with as a third grader at Southview and a high schooler in AP Bio at Jackson High School.
And he wants to be a teacher.
Those people have been, and Curtis Linder. I mean, not that these other people, Beth Osborne or whoever, had
That's
him.
great, man.
And he mentions those kids, and it's like, wow. And of course, Katie's a teacher at the middle school right now.
Yeah.
My wife had Christy as her aide
Yep.
a couple years ago. Mandy loves Christy. My
Yeah,
goodness,
thank you.
loves her.
Again, I outkicked my
Me
coverage.
too. I think all three of us did.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
Four.
Yeah.
I like your wife better. I like you too, Tyler.
Yeah. We outkicked our coverage. And again, she's been the best part of me for the last 20.
So you're heading out west,
We're going to go west in June.
just to Denver.
Just for the wedding. Near the state park.
What'll be your last day?
July 29.
Okay, so you'll still be working when you go out there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And again, I told Phil, and again, let me say something about that guy. Wow. I mean, anybody want his job? Throw your hat in the ring, jump in there.
Yeah, he's been.
I'll tell y'all.
He
I'm
was
glad
one of our
Phil's at the
first
helm.
guests. And,
Yep.
Yeah, you don't have to like what he does, but he does it with the best intention of all
He
kids.
does.
Always
regardless
has.
of what you think.
oh yeah.
It's
Well, what I
listen,
like about him is he's not.
he's my
not-
boss. Yeah.
Well, and he's not going to allow people to influence him.
yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I
He does
like
what's
that.
best for
Yes,
kids, man.
Yes,
He does
yes.
what's best for kids.
He does.
And again, I was a high school principal, and sometimes what he thought best and I thought best was
Maybe
different.
too different, but
And he's and you know what? At the end of the day, he was okay.
well.
He
But
was
you know
right.
what? You know what I like about Phil? If he's going to make a directive, he'll own it.
Oh, absolutely.
He's always
He ain't
been
gonna
that
throw
way, man.
nobody under the bus,
Nope,
dude.
nope,
Yeah,
he'll take it.
yeah,
Nope,
yep.
nope.
He'll
I've
take
known,
it.
I've known Phil. Jason introduced me to Phil, and I mean, so I've kind of known him for a long time now, and I have utmost respect for Phil.
Well, I
He,
mean, dude, I
have faith in him.
When
We're
I was
good.
when I was coaching at the high school, the second stint, like their third stint, when I was with Shane, all of you guys were coming in at that time, and I had the privilege of working for like Steve Anderson, then Phil. You were the principal, and it was man. These guys were just no BS.
Yeah.
I mean, not to use a cuss word, but like you didn't have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
It's like, hey guys, if you do something wrong, we'll tell you. But like also, if you're doing right, bud, we got your back. Go coach the team and be good to the kids.
Yeah.
Phil's been a great leader for the district.
Yeah.
He's been a good mentor for me, and he's my age.
Yeah.
He's got more. I think he's got like double the years administrative. He got into administration
Early,
really
didn't he?
Yeah,
Right out of being a basketball
Right. So
coach.
he's learned. He's been a basketball coach, successful basketball
Yeah.
coach. He's had good teams and bad teams, which that happens.
Phil kind of made the jump from like high school principal and stuff like on up to higher administration pretty early, didn't he? Because like he was the principal
yeah,
at
I
Piketon
think-
and stuff for a while, and then he
was at Piketon. I think that in an elementary school.
and did he wind
went
up?
to Western Latham.
Did he wind up at like as an assistant superintendent or something over there in Pike County?
I think
We're speculating.
Well,
I
he's
don't know.
principal at Western Latham, and I think he
Yeah.
became Steve Anderson's assistant
He was
superintendent
Here,
here.
yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah,
He, was
I
he
think.
came here as the
He came here with Steve,
assistant.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been
Yeah.
he's been a very good mentor. I mean, I've interviewed a couple of times, and for superintendent's job back when I thought I wanted to do it, and the more it changes, we kind of touched on that.
So
earlier.
are you guys going to stay in this area?
Well,
your retirement, or-
I mentioned earlier my mother-in-law and father-in-law live in Meigs County as well.
Right.
And Christy and I are, when we retire, I don't know, I don't have a date or a time frame.
Yeah.
But we are going to buy her family farm. It's 80 acres.
Nice.
Her sister and brother-in-law have 100 acres that adjoin it.
Okay.
She's got another sister that lives maybe a half mile around the road, if you will.
What part of Meigs County is that?
This would be the Hemlock Grove area out. Christy was a marauder.
Tell me in schools. Yeah.
She was a marauder,
Okay,
unfortunately.
okay.
She wasn't a purple tornado like myself.
Okay. So she's a city girl.
Yeah. Them,
Yeah.
them people down, I always joke
Close to
say,
Pomeroy,
them
or
people
what?
down Pomeroy Middleport got all that dirty water. Us people from Syracuse and Racine got clean. Man.
Yeah,
So, she's an old marauder, but I don't hold that against her.
So
She's
you'll find your place probably back there.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking forward to that hunting and fishing
Oh,
and golfing and going to the Racing Gun Club. I've said that about 3 times
Yeah.
tonight. Them boys,
Well,
they'll never see it. Trust me. They'll
Well,
never
well,
see
let
this.
them
They're
get
not
on there.
YouTubers.
No.
Well, can we go out there sometime? You
Well,
need to take
I've
us
I've done
there.
the gun club.
I'll tell you what. Again, it is like
What are you
Las.
shooting?
It's like we do have shooting matches. It is open to the public. It's a private club on Nice Hollow Road.
Model 12.
Well, funny you mentioned that. I happen to know that a gentleman that's real close to me that has 3 of those. One of them's nickel steel. Before I go, my great uncle Raleigh Hemsley played Major League Baseball 19 years. He caught Bob Feller's opening day no hitter. I spoke one night, sat with Bob Feller at a Cleveland Indians game, talked to him for probably whatever baseball game last 2 hours.
Yeah.
And Bob Feller didn't talk about baseball to me. He talked about Syracuse, Ohio, where he went grouse hunting.
Okay. So you know what I'm seeing here.
Round 2.
There's gonna be a sequel.
Yeah,
here,
gotta
dude.
be a sequel.
I mean,
I
Joe,
got the-
you've
I
gotta
got the
commit
autograph
right now.
book to show people if they don't believe me.
You have got to commit right now.
To what?
That okay.
I've been committed.
Now when you retire,
Yes.
okay, you're coming back on the show.
Yeah.
All right. So whatever
Because
the
I
Thursday
feel
is
like
after July 29th.
Well, I don't know, or whenever before. I mean, I just thought maybe once you retire, then
Sure.
But what I'm saying is though, I mean, my goodness, man, we've gone 2 hours. I feel like we could go about 3
Have
more.
we went to?
I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, we're 2
I'm
hours.
No,
sorry.
we're no. This is great.
Yeah. Yeah,
I-
we're good. No, we're good.
Yeah,
sorry.
we're good.
Yeah,
We're
no.
absolutely good. I mean, hell, we'll do the second show right now for all I care. But I mean, I'm just saying, man, this has been enjoyable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you guys are great, and I've watched the show, and like I said, I've learned some things. And again, I don't know what.
But I don't know what you've learned from our show.
What's your favorite podcast?
I think, in all honesty, I was really intrigued because we mentioned this earlier when we was in the back room back here, that young lady from Hawking College, because my thing is,
Because you're from Megs.
well, no. Yeah, that's no. Seriously though,
I know.
Here's the thing:
just playing.
if you're on the cutting edge,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, that's where it's going to be here before it's all over with. Okay,
Yeah,
and
it's
it's
here.
yeah.
That's here. You know.
Right.
Well, and
Well,
that's-
there's one in town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, again, I had went to Hawking with my son for a visit, and those were the programs that were, coming down the road, the coming attractions,
Yeah,
and they
it
were
wasn't
telling us
everything,
that,
yeah.
and Wyatt was like, and it was like, no, we was looking more like wildlife biology, wildlife officer, those kind of things.
Man, I think I missed my calling in that.
Yeah, I think
You'd like
you
to
did.
do that?
I think that I would have liked to have went to Hawking for like Division of Wildlife or something.
Hey, listen, here's the deal. I told Christy this a while back. I said one night to her, I said, you know what? I retire. I may go do that for a year and a half and be done and go do something like forestry or something like that. Seriously.
be a game warden or
I've thought
something,
about
dude.
just while I'm.
I don't know I'm going to be a game warden, but
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
forestry.
But I've thought about just taking classes on it, not to like get out of the insurance.
Oh,
but just,
yeah.
I think it'd be a
Hey,
good
can
class.
you imagine though? Like seriously, like if you became like a ranger at a state park or something.
That's what Donovan's doing.
I mean, well, and you've got
Donovan
workman.
Is that what he's doing? Seriously?
He was in
Yeah.
he was in like mental health over at OU.
Yeah,
or
right,
something.
right.
And now he bid in with the state. And now he's running Mommy Park.
Well, see,
Lake
you're joking about that, but I know he likes to fish.
He loves
Donovan
it,
does.
yeah.
But Wyatt, my dad has talked to Wyatt about that. My son, when he gets out of the Air Force, doing the same thing, and then going into like going out west and like the Grand Tetons. You got to wear the funny hat, but.
Hey, dude.
Crap, you're paying me, man. I'll take your
and
money.
Here's
Just
the
see
thing,
the
Joe.
country.
That's what I said. Like you've had a career in education, and there's a lot of that to that piece.
I'm really gonna buy a still though, Chad.
I know. I know. And I can't wait.
I've told my wife and kids. I said you can buy them things online that'll make
Hey,
like 5-gallon stills, and it's like,
Hey, it's
I'll
going to be
buy
great
one.
for the chubby bartenders to have a friend in Meigs County.
Yes.
We'll just do like a
We can
YouTube
go
video,
visit.
set it up in the
Yeah.
back
Oh,
for a
yeah.
night.
Yeah.
I'm buying a still. I told the kids, I
Hey.
said I'm buying a still. They're
Well,
like,
Chad,
no, you're not.
I've watched you work toms that time.
Oh yeah, easy.
Yeah. Well, I didn't say last
Come
name.
on. I don't even know what you're talking about, but back off.
I watched you work. Yes.
I've tried. Yeah, I'm not very good at it.
No, you're allowed as long as you're not selling.
Oh,
it.
yeah,
You're allowed
yeah,
to make
yeah,
it.
yeah,
You can
yeah,
make it
it's-
all day long.
You got to give it away.
Yeah, you
I guess in a nutshell, and I'm sure somebody out there saying that's not right. Well, okay, guess what? My understanding is if you give it as a gift and you run
don't
off
give it to anybody. Just keep it for
right.
yourself.
Right.
I mean, you're allowed to do that.
yeah.
Right?
Hey,
Thank you, sir.
You guys are awesome,
Oh,
man.
thank
This
you,
has
man.
been cool.
We're going to do
Thank
it
you.
again. We're going to do it again.
and I know-
like and
Smash that like
subscribe.
button.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah,
Sweet.
this is